Guys, 6 minutes, 50 seconds is just a number on paper. But when you put that on the Nurburgring, we talking about something completely different altogether, I'm telling you. Because Chevy didn't just show up to the Nurburgring and put down the time. Nah, look, I'm a fan of the Ford Mustang, and I'm hurt. As a fan of the Mustang, I'm offended. So I could only imagine what Ford is feeling like right now. They probably can't wait to get back on the Nürburgring and take back their crown, because they gotta take it back. I mean, look, Ford gotta defend their honor. But what if I told you that the 650, the 6 minute 50 seconds is not the end of the story for Chevy? What if I told you it could have been faster? And the real story here is who was driving. Guys, this wasn't some hired gun that Chevy got and say, look, we need every tenth and every inch of this car, so we want the record. Nah, guys, this is Brian Wallace, Chevy's design engineer. No, it wasn't the design engineer, but it was I think it was like the dynamic engineer. And look, he's a talented driver. As I said in all my videos before, these Chevy drivers set multiple records with the Corvette. These were just not regular average drivers. They're very good drivers, but they're engineered first and foremost. And so there's always that question or in your mind on every corner when you look at the Nürburgring lap time, how much will a pro driver really have saved them? Because as talented as they are, a pro driver they're built different. I ain't gonna lie. So today we're gonna take a close look at every corner. We're gonna go through with a microscope and point out some mistakes here and there, because I felt like Chevy and Brian Wallace played it safe. So before we get into the analysis here, there's a couple things we gotta look into it to understand this battlefield. Because for months now, since the beginning of 2025, Mustang GTD was a record holder, and as far as American cars go, it's just been playing in the field on its own. Honestly, that's before Chevy came with 3 cars all in the same day. And while they didn't lose the 3 cars of Chevys, they all did respectively good. I mean, the Z06 ran a 7-11, beating its benchmark of the Ferrari where they wanted to be. And, the ZR1 ran the 650, which is the one we're going to be analyzing today. That beat the Mustang. And then the ZR1X ran 649. Now, what they were able to log on the top 2 spots, but what I wanted to point out here is that even though the Chevy ZR1 is only rated at 1,064, it was still only a second and a half slower than its bigger brother that's rated at 1,250. I mean, mostly everything else is the same between those 2 cars. The ZR1X does have better brakes, I believe. So it just suggests that the platform wasn't the limiting factor here, but the real limiting factor could have been the driver. And again, I'm not saying that the driver is bad or not talented, because guys, if you're running under 7 seconds around the Nürburgring, I'm sorry, you in my head, you're a pro driver. Or I would say elite. You're an elite driver. But it just suggests that they could have been more from the car than just since they're running so close to the bigger brother anyways. And that's why in this video I wanted to go break down and show some points where time could have been made up. With that said, guys, let's get into the video. Alright, so let's go ahead, start the crossing line into the first lap. I felt like he did this one really good. You can see he's on the throttle halfway, then mashed into it. I felt like he got into it at a decent rate. Now, on this first corner right here, I'm noticing he played it very safe, guys. He played it very safe, and he goes into the left, right, and Guys, look at this. He's completely avoiding the apex or the runoffs. It's like, from what I can see so far, guys, he's playing it very safe, and he does not want to hit the rumble strips. Now, I don't know if it's a suspension decision, but guys, the Chevy Corvette have magnetic springs, so I think he could hit these apex and the rumble strips and use them as runoffs. And you're leaving a lot of time on the table. Yes, you're playing it safe, and yes, you can repeat lap after lap after lap. But when you play this safe, you leave a lot of time on the table. Just in this section alone, you're looking at potentially 2-3 seconds. From what I can see, I mean, he's handling the brakes and his throttle really well. So let's go ahead. You can see on this right turn, again, he completely misses the apex, completely misses the runoff. He didn't even use it, but he was on the throttle, and you can see this car is accelerating like none other. Heavy on the brakes. Okay, this sweeping right turn, you don't have to touch the outside in the middle, but I would have liked to see him touch the outside after. Because guys, again, that lets me know he's leaving some on the table. Now, I'm also looking at his steering input. Let's see how we do on this left corner. Yeah, I think he could have went faster on there. You see the car wasn't asking for anything. He just made a decision. Now, this he looks to takes really well. He's early on the throttle, coming down this straight. Again, I think he exited. He entered kind of slow, but I think he exited just fine, guys. Now, he's heavy on the brakes. Misses the apex. We don't have to touch the apex there, but I would have liked to see him at least clip it. Alright, guys, I'm going to pause it here for a second. There's something else I want to show you. So on that left turn, before that left right, I would have went a little bit on the outside just to open up the car a little bit, because this is a high horsepower car and acceleration is its main weapon. What I would have liked to see was him open up just a little bit so he could get on the inside apex more, and that way he could get on the power a lot earlier. As you can see, he's still not on the power fully. If he opened up a little bit earlier, he would have been able to power out of that corner way sooner and have way more power coming down the straight. So yeah, he lost a little bit of speed here too. I'm talking, pro driver would have been out of there. Now let's see how we handle this sweeping left. So stays away from the apex again, but I mean, he handles it decent. Okay, he's early on the throttle. I do like to see that. He wasn't afraid of applying the throttle. As you see, the car is putting on power really well. So I'm gonna pause it here again. On this right turn, again, you have an opportunity of using power for a long period of time. What I would have liked to see him do was be later on the entry. That way he could clip the corner more on the inside and then power out of it a lot sooner and take advantage of 6,064 horsepower for a lot longer, which is where the car's strength is. You can see it has very slow corner speed, so you want to take advantage of his straight line speed as much as possible. Let's go. All right, so this left and then the right, he handles that good. Brake. I like the fact I see him trail braking, guys. Trail braking like this on a mid-engine car is really important. If you just, I love the trail braking in here. Again, I think he sets himself up really well here for the straightaway. So he did more of what I like to see. He brakes early. Okay, so he touches no apex, neither the inside nor the outside. Again, he's on the power relatively early, but he didn't touch any apex, guys. I'm not sure why they're making the decision to avoid the apex. Okay, and then on that left turn, they decide to ease up and pull the car back for that left turn. I promise you guys, I've seen a lot of cars run that corner. The ZR1 has a capability of hanging that corner. It's not going to lose it. Guys, I think it was a decision that Chevy made to play it safe and not take that corner fully, because they surely could have taken that corner without easing up on the brakes. All right, let's go around this this right turn, see how he does it. Okay, so they get on the power relatively early. I do like how they did it. I would have did it a little bit later. That's the same thing I mentioned. You could have used the power more. Okay, so they're not flat out on these corners. Guys, the Corvette is a super cable car. I think you could take these corners flat out. So he pretty much eased up around this whole section. He could have at least been like 10 miles per hour faster. He brakes here. Very conservative. You can see he didn't even need the outside. Applying a lot of brakes here. He didn't even need the outside. Okay, so around this corner, again, he braked, he went in there safe, but you can see he noticed that he used his power relatively early to break himself out of there. Let's see how he handled Carousel. Guy, I love how he did the Carousel actually. Yep, I love how he did the Carousel. It's a difficult corner. You don't get it perfect every time, but he was near perfect. Now there's a lot of braking on this. He didn't even go towards the outside. Again, guys, the key to having fast time on these tracks is using all of the track, using all of the inside and the outside. You can see he's completely avoiding the apex. Does he touch it here? Okay, I'm gonna pause right here. So the way I would have done that turn, honestly guys, I would have stayed more on the outside and come in a lot. He wasn't very shallow. I would open up a lot more. That way you could hop on the apex and be on the throttle a lot earlier, guys. A lot earlier than what he did. So if you go back, I could rewind it and show y'all. If you look at what he did, he completely avoided the apex and the runoffs. And so he was not able to just power, kind of go in a straight line and hit the outside of this on the apex. The car can handle it, especially with magnetic springs. The Chevy would have been a monster on this section. Let's go. All right, I like his brake and throttle application in here. Early on the throttle, trail braking through here. I feel like he could have used more throttle. Again, he used the runners, but he didn't use the apex on that one. Okay, he's really good on the apex. He's gonna, so that's a really good corner. That's what I want to see more. I want to see him use that all the time, just like that. I would have wanted to see him run up on that apex right there. You see the runoff is on it. Oh, attacking that. Oh, he attacked that at good speed. I liked it. I think he could have did this full throttle, guys. He could have gotten the throttle and just held it. But again, they're playing it safe. They don't want to jump the car. And I understand that part, but I think a pro driver would have went for it. And I see if he hits the apex on here. Now, guys, he played it safe again, but again, that one played out really good. Now the mini carousel. Now that one played out really good. I want to see how he take his last corner because it's one of the most important corners for the Chevy. The brake. Okay, so he had the patience. I feel like he could have gotten the power a little bit earlier, but he did show the patience, and I do like seeing that. However, it looked like the corner right before that sweeping right, he could have broke a little bit later. Now, he also could have gotten the power a little bit earlier, which is just a long straight to take advantage of. I think we could have seen about 5 miles per hour more, plus over a 2 mile stretch. That would have made a huge difference, guys. I'm seeing about 8 seconds, 5 to 8 seconds. I could see a pro driver. Okay, on this braking point, he brakes proper. Oh, he's doing this really beautifully. Okay, so he played it safe the whole time. Honestly, all the way up until the finish, guys. And you see him, he turned on like almost like another gear. He did the ending part beautifully. Yeah, guys, from what I can see, he looks like a really talented driver. He looked like he just chose to play it safe, and it was a calculated decision versus a capability decision. I think he's capable of wrangling that car down. and getting way more time if he wanted to. But I think Chevy knew the car was capable and decided to just play it safe based on data. Let's run it like this and let's deal with the time we got, which in this case, 6 minutes, 50 seconds. Incredible. So you see it, guys. So let's get to the big question here. How much faster do you think the car could go? We saw very conservative lines. You saw very little hesitation for sure. But what you saw was, to me, very conservative or concerted decisions. Like, none of these was mistakes, and none of these was a capability thing. And from what I could analyze, I think the driver is capable and knows how to go faster. I think they made a decision to play it safe. So, I mean, many experts believe, and so do I, especially in the case of the ZR1, that we could be seeing times on the ZR1 of 640, 639, like something insane if, Chevy decided to unleash the car with a professional driver, or even use their drivers to their max potential, take some risk. Not saying crash the car, but 640 would have it scaring the hell out of the Mercedes Black Series. I mean, obviously it would beat the GT3 RS. The GT2 RS and stuff, they would be like tightening they, yeah, like there would be some like clearing some throats in Porsche and Mercedes, throats. But the fact that the ZR1 is only 1.5 seconds slower than ZR1X, which is have like 200 horsepower less, alone backs this up, guys. The ZR1 is a very capable car, and all it needs is somebody to wrangle it and squeeze its neck a little bit until that car begged for mercy for you to see a 640. So what do you think, guys? So, I mean, to me, that's where the real debate lies, guys. Do you think a pro driver really could find way more time than a Chevy engineer? I mean, I do. I just want to know what you think. So I want you to leave your analysis in the comment section below. Tell me what you think. And if you enjoyed deep dives like this, guys, let me know by leaving a like, subscribing to the channel, and also go ahead and ring that bell for notification when I do more deep dives like this. So let's be clear, guys. A 650 is a massive achievement. I mean, pretty much Chevy bought a production spec. I say, look, we all heard what's been happening with Chevy not running a production spec Chevy around the Nurburgring. We see things like seats missing, racing Recaro seats, something that don't even come in a production car. But you know what? I'm gonna leave that alone. We just gonna stick to what we saw in the video, guys. Whether or not it was a production spec car or a stripped down Chevy Corvette, it'll be a video for another time. But essentially, Chevy made one of the fastest cars around the Nürburgring. And it just leaves the questions in everybody's head. Ford, Porsche, Mercedes. It's a terrifying thought of what did Chevy leave behind? Because, again, they did this with the engineer. And I think the engineer was being conservative. It wasn't that the engineer was wrangling the car to the best of the engineer's ability. I think the engineers was just setting a time. Look, this was just a warning shot. And so what would happen if Ford, say game on, say they call back to the Nürburgring, beat Chevy, let's just say they beat them by 3 seconds, and then Chevy said, okay, professional driver, here we come, and then they call in any professional driver at this point and tell them, look, I know that this is a multi-million-dollar car, honestly, but I want you to take it around the ring. We want this record, and make the car beg for mercy around the track because we want this the fastest time. Guys, I got everybody wondering what will happen if Chevy finally decides to send a pro. Guys, leave a like, subscribe.